Welcome to this first chapter of a series of webinars, integrating the requirements management into your ALM, your application lifecycle management ecosystem. My name is Miguel Tomico. I am consultant at Visure Solutions. I have like 8 years of experience in requirements management and other ALM tools, and I hope you enjoyed this session. A bit of housekeeping before starting the webinar. The duration will be approximately 30 minutes. And please, if you have questions at any time, please write them down in the questions panel of the GoToWebinar client. If you're experiencing technical issues with the audio, please also write it down in the questions panel as well. Good. So we'll start the presentation. During today's webinar, we will introduce the need for an integrative ALM platform and the most common pitfalls that we have seen when trying to set it up. We will also introduce our open solution, explore its benefits, and demonstrate a use case scenario integrating Atlassian JIRA and Visure requirements. Well, first of all, we should ask ourselves if we are able to provide answers to these kind of questions in our projects. Companies developing software and systems use ALM tools to coordinate and automate their processes. But the only way to answer these cross-tool or cross-discipline questions, which are key to business success, is having an integrative environment where artifacts from different tools can be linked and analyzed together. If not, we can only guess the implementation or testing the status of my requirements, notify manually my engineers when a new change request has been entered, etc. So we need to take control of our projects and be able to respond to these questions to make better business decisions. Well, the first common pitfall that we have seen when establishing an ALM environment is to try and use a tool to serve other disciplines. For example, JIRA is a good issue tracker and project planning tool. We are probably using it comfortably in our projects, so it is tempting to extend it to be used also for instance, requirements management or quality management. Well, even though you can create an issue type requirement in JIRA and customize its attributes, our engineers will start asking for specific features regarding requirements management, such as comparing versions, generate document specifications, or perform traceability and impact analysis. Therefore, we could end up creating customizations or scripts that we will have to maintain over time. We could even realize later that it would have been much cheaper to actually buy a requirements management tool, which is no good, obviously. The next step may be using specific tools for each discipline, requirements management, quality management, etc., and write identifiers in trace matrices somewhere in text attributes or Excel files. This is obviously not good as well, because a lot of manual tasks are involved, which are subject to errors, etc. So we should let the technology do the hard job and let us work efficiently instead of manually. So we have finally decided that we need an integrated platform. So we ask our software vendor for integrations, and we are glad because the tool we need to integrate with is in the list. we are immediately ready to buy it and deploy it. Well, we should choose wisely. If we spend a lot of time evaluating tools, making sure that they adapt to our needs, considering that integration points are equally important, why don't we evaluate them in deep as well? Take into account that some integrated ALM platforms provide fixed integrations, and once we have acquired the solution, we may realize that the integration capabilities do not work as we expected, and we are not able to generate the deliverables we need to produce it, etc. So we cannot keep working following our processes. Remember that not all integrations or ALM platforms support all integration scenarios. Thus, we need an open and flexible platform like your Open ALM platform by Visure. This platform is capable of adapting to our existing processes and tools and not the other way around. This way, we should be able to create our own comprehensive ALM, keeping our existing practices, process, and tools, but taking advantage of all the benefits of having a tightly integrated ALM solution. This platform can be used for integrating tools, but also for exchanging data and migrating from a third-party solution. Your Open ALM platform by Visure is fully configurable in terms of data flow direction between tools, allowing bidirectional integrations, custom mapping of attributes, relationships, attachments, and other features, so that it adapts to your specific processes. Again, well, the list of tools available to be integrated with is really extensive, so please don't hesitate to contact us for further information, or if you don't see the tool you are interested in the list. Okay, so we mentioned the benefits of having an integrated platform, but let's discuss a bit of the business benefits of using your Open Integrated Platform by Visure. First of all, having full visibility over the whole project, from the inception to the implementation, testing, and maintenance phase, we can assess the impact of all related artifacts. And so we will be able to provide better estimations, and we will have control over the project over its entire life cycle. The second one, improve quality by complying with standards, and also enhance customer satisfaction by breaking down the developer-customer barrier. And third, make better decisions based on metrics, not on feelings or intuition. It's not only that, also enable collaboration so that distributed teams can now work efficiently by sharing the same platform and having access to up-to-date information of all related artifacts. And finally, but not less important, also save time by eliminating manual tasks, meetings, and training time, by making use of the tools that are best for the job and establishing the connection points between those tools, seamless using our platform. So in this integration scenario, we will demonstrate how we can set up a change request management throughout the process using Visure requirements and Atlassian JIRA. Well, first of all, let's think a bit about change requests. The following Dilbert comic strip can represent any day in a software engineer's work. So let's take a look at it. I will give you some minutes to, or some seconds to read. Okay, so I especially like this comic strip because this is the reality. Well, it's pretty obvious that change requests are not free. So as software engineers, we should be able to demonstrate why they come with a cost and what is actually that cost in terms of implementation, testing, deployment, etc. Well, so when this list that you see, this slide represents only some of the most common use cases scenarios when iterating requirements and change management tools, such as Visure requirements and Atlassian JIRA. This is why we stated at the beginning that not all integrations or ALM platforms support all use cases, and why we should consider an open and flexible ALM platform capable of adapting to our needs. During this demonstration, we will focus on linking change requests with changes in requirements to be able to assess the full impact of implementing them in terms of changes in the specification and related test cases. Good. Let's consider the following scenario. This is the scenario that I will follow during the live demonstration of both tools. Let's assume that Sharon, our business analyst, is responsible for collecting change requests or new features from customers or other stakeholders. Sharon will use JIRA for that. While Mark, the product manager involved in the same project, will be the one assessing the impact of that change in the requirements specification. Mark will have to approve or reject it. While, on the other hand, Lucy, or quality manager, must also be notified of these new changes to rewrite or even execute again the related test cases covering those functionalities. So Mark and Lucy will use Visure, these requirements, and they don't know anything about JIRA. So how can we keep working following this process in our integrated environment? Okay, this is possible with your Open ALM by Visure. So let me demonstrate this scenario using both tools. We'll go to the environment, and so let's assume that as I mentioned, I am now Sharon, and I have access to JIRA. So what I will do is I will create a new issue. The type for that issue will be new feature. So let's assume it is change the logo, change the corporate logo, or let's have this new feature, add the corporate logo. Well, let's add a description such as the corporate logo must be present in all forms of the application. Good. We will also attach the correspondent corporate logo. In this case, this is the Visure requirements logo. That's it. So let me create the issue. It has been successfully created in JIRA. So we do have the type, the summary, the description, also the attachments here, so we can exchange anything in between Visure requirements and JIRA. Good. So let's assume that I'm finished doing my work as Sharon. So what I will do now is I will take the role as Mark. So what Mark will do is, as his daily work, is log in Visure requirements in the surgical imaging project, which is integrated with the same project in JIRA. Mark is our product manager. And the predetermined view the predetermined view for Mark is displaying a plain list of the corresponding new features or change requests, which are coming from JIRA, just like Sharon has recently created one. So as we can see here, we have the name mapped with the summary of the issues, the description. We are also changing the status, and we also are exporting the corresponding URL so that we can navigate at all times between both tools. So it's just good. Okay, so I just pressed F5 to refresh it, and I can see that my new feature has been added automatically in a completely transparent way for the users. I can see that the file is here present as well. I mean the attachment, the logo. So that's just great. Okay, so as a product manager, my duty here is to relate this new feature with the changes in the specification. I have to identify which requirements I have to change to implement this new feature. So the first thing I will do is to check it out, because we will make some changes here, and we will start the relationship. So I will go to the specification. Okay, let's assume that I know that, well, we will have to modify the company logo and maybe the header color. Okay, so let's click on this set the relationship. Okay, because this new feature will affect all these user requirements. Okay, that's it. So we have established the relationship. Let me go to the system process block diagram. The block diagrams in Visure are a graphical representation of our data model, so that, as you can see, these new features are coming from JIRA. Okay, they are automatically being imported in Visure, and I have just established this relationship to existing user requirements, or maybe new ones that I need to implement. Okay, so this way I get the full traceability from the high-level new feature or change request to the corresponding specification, along with the test cases. Okay, so good. Let me go back to the list. So let's assume that, well, okay, I think as Mark, as the product manager, I think this is we can afford implementing this new feature. So what I will do is I will approve it. I will transition it to in progress, so that my developers start working. And well, I may add some other information here as a comment in the discussion. For instance, this will require changes in the user interface. Okay, so the idea is that when I check it in and I consolidate the changes, I can provide a reason for it, a comment. Okay, as we already added it as a discussion, okay, that's fine. So the idea is that this status and the discussions will go back to JIRA. So as you can see, you can create also bidirectional integrations between both tools, which is just great. Okay, good. So, well, I stated that we have to make some changes to the specification. Okay, so we have just related the new feature with the requirements. I think we should also implement those changes. So let me just modify the company logo user requirement here. Let's assume that this has to be 40 millimeters instead of 30. Okay, so that's it. Good. And let's assume that I'm finished. I'm finished doing my work as Mark, as the product manager. So what I have done is I have established the link between new features and requirements, and I have modified the specification accordingly. Good. Now let's log in as Lucy. Do you remember Lucy was our quality manager for this project? So when Lucy gets to work, all she has to do is to access to this diagram and navigate to the corresponding specifications to check if there have been changes. Okay, but she can check the changes automatically if she clicks the corresponding relationship between both artifact types or blocks, and Lucy can activate it to see the relationships. So as you can see in rows, we are displaying the user requirements that we have just modified, and also the acceptance tests in columns so that we get the traceability. And do you notice this arrow in red? What it means is that, well, the company logo has been changed, so we need to rethink if this test case is still applicable, or if we have to rewrite it or even execute it again. Okay, so in this case, let's assume that it's just fine. I don't need to modify anything, so I can clear this aspect. So as you can see, I can quickly, as a quality manager, I can quickly identify the changes in the specification to modify the corresponding test cases. Okay, so if I go back to the system process block diagram, what I have just demonstrated is that you can have the full traceability, no matter in which tool, if the new features, in this case coming from JIRA, you will have the traceability to the user requirements, and obviously you will also have the full traceability and the impact of from the high-level requirements to low-level requirements, and also to the tests, as we have just seen with the suspect links. Okay, the suspect links is just one of the tools available to identify changes in relative artifacts. Okay, so this was just a full scenario. Let me go again to the surgical imaging project in JIRA. Okay, so as you can see, the add logo, you remember it was open, but now Mark, the product manager, transitioned it to in progress in Visure, and therefore this status has been modified also in JIRA using our integration platform. You remember I also added a comment that you also says is great. Well, you're probably wondering, okay, what's behind all this automatic synchronization? Well, we rely on the OpsHub integration manager. This allows us to create, I will say, any type of integration. It can be bidirectional. You can, as you can see here, you can configure the mapping. It's really, really powerful. So if you need further information of the OpsHub integration manager, please don't hesitate to contact us. Good. So that's it. As as we have seen during this presentation, your open ALM platform by Visure can help us to provide real collaboration, ensuring full visibility and information sharing, and eliminating silos of information between all departments. So using our platform, we will also save time by automating repetitive tasks and also improving quality while providing the full traceability from the high-level change requests to the source code and the test cases. So that's it. In upcoming chapters of this series of webinars, we will also demonstrate other use cases scenarios using other tools such as Microsoft Team Foundation Server, HP ALM, the former Quality Center, and Spark's Enterprise Architect. Okay, so again, if in case you're interested in any particular integration or anything, just please don't hesitate to contact us at info@visuresolutions.com or to directly to me. This is my email address.